This is the story of the Oshay Asylum. In 1997, one of the most dangerous places in the Midwest, in the country, was the Oshay Asylum. It housed 127 criminally insane individuals, each locked up for reasons far more disturbing than you could ever have nightmares about. Child killers, children who are killers, adults who skin their neighbors alive, maniacs who watch dozens of lives be taken by their own hands, and even after being proven guilty, claiming their innocence. From the outside, it looked like your average prison. Barbed wire, high fences, bright lights, and security patrolling the grounds. But inside, there was a hauntingly different story. Most of the prisoners were kept in cells underground to muffle their constant screaming. Only prisoners on their deathbeds were housed above ground to be kept a closer eye on. The hallways were permeated with the stench of urine and feces and unwashed bodies. On the floors above ground, there were a few offices, a nursing station, security guards, and hundreds, if not thousands, of boxes, filled with the cases of every patient who had ever stepped foot in that facility. Evidence, testimonies, the last personal items they had on them when they were detained. But in 2007, a fire broke out that claimed the life of every single prisoner. It started around 1 in the morning and wasn't fully done burning until well after sunrise. The building collapsed in on itself. Every employee was accounted for, but none of the patients, not even the ones above ground. The rumor was that the dying patients within reach inhaled too much smoke to be saved. The patients underground were inaccessible after the electricity went down. The guards couldn't open all the doors with individual keys fast enough to save everyone, so they saved themselves. In 2022, one of the final living nursing staff made a wild confession. She said that the prisoners became too dangerous, they were out of control, and the asylum didn't have enough staff to keep up with the patients' needs. There were no working psychiatrists, only 3 nurses, 22 guards, but only 6 of them were willing to work inside the asylum's walls amongst the people. They couldn't transfer anyone out of the facility, and the only way prisoners left was if they died. A plan was hatched to burn the whole place to the ground, with the patients still inside. During the nurse's confession, she said she would have never told anyone if they knew for sure that every patient had died that night. But because the building collapsed and the rubble was too difficult to sort through, it was never confirmed, and this weighed on her consciousness every waking moment of her life. When the FBI found out, they went to search the devastated remains, but it wasn't clear how many patients died that night, and how many escaped under the guise of disaster.